say that the key to success is holding other people accountable for their actions. But I have found that successful people are all about holding themselves accountable. They skip the blame, complain game and make things happen despite the challenges. I personally view a victim mentality as the end of the road for success, right or wrong. An example of this would be finger pointing at an unfair manager, maybe a friend, or blaming an economic downturn, for example. When someone is accountable, they accept responsibility for their actions and the results of their choices. Your actions always have consequences, whether that's good or bad, but the key is taking ownership. Accountability includes zero excuse making, and there is no space to seek validation and ego massage. Genuine accountability comes with honesty that acknowledges where things can be improved. And it is this transparency that is expansive and it allows for positive momentum to be invested in a vision that is open to scrutiny and being unafraid to take feedback. Being confident in the knowledge that it will only ever contribute to the next level of success. Our big question today is, why is accountability important for success? Today, we have Niki Matyjasik with us, and she is from Business Buddy. As a business buddy and an accountability coach, Niki helps female business owners to achieve more in their businesses. With a fresh perspective, creative ideas, and the ability to quickly identify valuable changes, Niki helps build the momentum to drive business forward. Niki has a strong background in sales, marketing, buying, and years of experience working with small businesses. And she has helped hundreds of businesses to grow by introducing strategy, consistent processes, and structures that just work. That's how she differs from a traditional business coach. Niki has been a small business owner herself and understands firsthand the challenges they face. So she doesn't leave her clients with an overwhelming to-do list. Instead, Niki rolls up her sleeves and helps them to achieve the month's goal. And by keeping them accountable, the team feels supported and the business makes consistent and measurable progress. Niki, welcome to Success Talks. How is life treating you?
Very well, thank you, Tammy. Lovely. Thanks for asking me to come on today.
Oh, absolute pleasure. And just not today, in the article as well. So in your article, you highlight that accountability is one of the keys for success.
Yeah.
What is the result of not being accountable?
Oh, gosh. So many to mention, really. I mean, we could be feeling busy and not making progress. We could be in that overwhelm that you mentioned a second ago. We could be in a place where we're feeling burnt out. We're charging the wrong prices. We just don't have great time management going on. There's so many things. It could be we're lacking in confidence or self-belief. Yeah, those are just a few things to mention by not having that accountability level in place, really.
Oh, absolutely. And I've heard it myself. But it's easy for someone to convince themselves that they would have been successful if they had more time, more funding, if they were born into a different family or had, better training, for example.
Yeah.
Usually, from what I've experienced, they're hiding the real culprit, which is productivity, procrastination, maybe something that you definitely have recognized, so your article alludes to it, is the lack of focus, not knowing the direction of travel. So from your experience, why do people shy away from the accountability? Like, what is the disconnect there?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, just touching on what you said there, I mean, I truly believe that you need to be passionate about what you want to do. So that, that part you were saying there about focus or lack of focus, lack of direction. I think if you are really passionate and have that desire to achieve a certain goal or a certain outcome, then actually that is where you start to seek ways that can help you stay on track to get there. So, you know, all successful people have accountability of some description. You know, even sports people and, you know, entrepreneurs, lots of different people have accountability. But I think, you know, it's like I say, it comes back to that passion, being really focused on that passion and having those tools then in place to help you get there. And accountability is a really key way to keep you on track on a regular basis so that you don't get distracted, you don't lose focus, and you know which way you are going.
What if someone's not passionate? Maybe they're locked in a career right now just because of circumstances or whatever it might be. How do they become more accountable? Is there certain steps for them to take?
Yeah, I think again, in situations like that, where I've come across those kind of things, is that I think the pain point needs to be enough within ourselves to actually do something about it. So, you know, I remember when I was in the corporate world, it got to a point where actually that pain point was so much, I actually just couldn't like face my job any longer. And I knew I had to take some steps in order to find a way that I did want to fulfill my ambitions and dreams. So I think for a lot of us, we have to get to a certain pain point before we realize enough is enough. And it's then finding that method or that way to reach out to just start talking to somebody about how I can make a change or how I can, you know, be looking to move away from what I'm not passionate about and looking towards more where I see my career or business or journey going and how I start to take baby steps to do that. And it really is baby steps, I think, you know, in order to put anything in place, because nothing happens overnight. It's all about taking those baby steps.
Yeah, you've mentioned a few key points there. The first thing, just respectfully disagreeing with you, waiting for the pain. So something that I've come across through Tony Robbins, actually. I went to his event and I also had the same belief. You have to wait until the pain. And so people are almost like going through the uncomfortable situation, whatever that is for them, and accepting it and tolerating it as normal. And then it gets worse and worse until they get to that severe pain. And that's usually the place. And it's like, oh, okay, I need to catapult myself out of this and take control. And you're saying that's what happened with you.
Yeah.
But equally, there's another way to leverage your action taken there. It's pleasure. Two ways, either pain or pleasure. And for my line of work, which I potentially works the same in like the clients you work with, business owners, is that knowing the vision. What is your deeper why? Where do you want to go? Whether that's your life decisions, whether it's your health, it's about your family, is about your career or business. Having that clarity and almost motivation to move out of whatever is going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like how I see the first step.
Yeah.
But am I wrong there? How do you
no I mean, I definitely understand and see both parts. I just feel that we do and again, this is from speaking to a lot of business owners, as I do on a regular basis. You know, a lot of business owners do have a challenge sometimes with getting that clarity, getting that vision, connecting with their why. And it's only when individuals, I think, are at that point that they really can move forward with that passion and that pleasure, as you mentioned earlier. But I think we can be distracted by so many things that are going on, or this is the normal way of doing things. Sometimes we get a bit crowded by that, if you like. So it sometimes does take those pain points to go, right, enough is enough. But actually, like you say, there are others who can see from that pleasure and get the vision and clarity and connect to their why. I just feel I've come across probably more people who are not in that space rather than the pain point space, if you see what I mean. They've come in that overwhelm and frustration and just not knowing which way to turn, really.
Oh, I have to agree with
Yeah.
you. There's definitely more people
Yeah.
in the camp of pain, and then
Yeah.
using that to go, no, I cannot be in this place anymore, whatever that future looks like.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so then you mentioned again another key point there of the distractions,
Mm.
and we do live in a world, and since the digital boom, I would say that there's so many notifications for loads of different things, and people are
Yeah.
pulling our attention left, right, and center. So, is there any wonder why people can't be or struggle with
Yeah.
accountability
Yeah.
when the lack of focus, not just maybe in their desires, but externally?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And, that's one thing I do get to work on quite quickly with a lot of my clients is that we're really focusing on what needs to happen on a monthly basis, on a 90-day basis. I tend to work in that kind of structure to really help them stay on track with where they want to be at the end of those 90 days. And yeah, pulling them back from this distraction here or shiny object syndrome over here, or really helping them understand, or just talk through with them, if you go off in this direction, then that's not going to keep you in line with where you want to be. And one thing that I work on with my clients definitely is something called the qualifier question. So asking yourself, is this distraction or challenge or thing that's been presented to me, is that going to take me closer to my goal, or is it going to move me away from my goal? And just
Oh,
by having that, that yes, no answer in that moment can really help stop you to go, right, that's a distraction. Okay, this is going to move me forward. I'm going to stay on my path. So yeah, I do use that quite a bit.
okay, there you go. So the accountability is important in its own right, but actually going back to what your article says, there's actually three components. And the strategy, which in the way in my coaching works, is that it's your vision, it's your
Yeah.
mission, and then it's your goals. What's the 1 year, the ultimate, and then
Yeah.
you're evolving, which is the 3 month goals. And you're saying exactly the same thing, whether that's your personal life,
Yeah.
whether your business or your career,
Yeah.
having a roadmap is what's going to help you be accountable
Yeah.
and question what you are doing, because you could be accountable doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But where does that get you? That's not successful. That's
Not
just
the
wasting
answers.
time. And it
Yeah.
comes back to the excuse, well, I haven't had enough time, or I haven't had funding. Or maybe you've just done the wrong things. You've been
Yeah.
accountable to the wrong stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's really, gosh, it's really narrowing it down as well. So again, like I say, I work in that 90-day model where, if we're really clear on our goals, and I look at one business, one personal, one financial, and one learning goal. And what we really hone in on is, what activities do I need to do to help me get there? And that's what we hold and stay accountable on, because yes, those activities might grow and develop and lead on to something else that might get us there quicker. But if it is a distraction or a challenge, or somebody wants our time, we can ask that qualifier question to stop ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, going back to that key question, questions have so much power. And
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
principle you teach them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, keeping focus on those one key thing in each of those areas means that our activities are there in place then not to overwhelm ourselves, but to ensure that they're the right level of activities to get to where we want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Earlier, you talked about beliefs. Maybe you said something about personalities. Maybe I've just added that in.
Yeah, maybe. That's fine.
Maybe. I can't recall.
That's
Rewind
all
it.
right. That's
So
fine.
there's something around this whole protecting a fragile ego. And I have seen countless people be completely engulfed by fear about not knowing the answer or what steps to take. And so they blame something else to save that ego. When
Yeah.
the truth is, they could speak up and say, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But what I can appreciate there is a level of imposter syndrome that might just like kick in because they're supposed to be an expert. Whether
Sure.
you're the business owner and you're the expert at coaching, or if you're in corporate spaces and you're supposed to be the expert at marketing, whatever it is, the reality from what I've seen is that they've just placed a high expectation of themselves to know it all.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that? And has that kind of like caused problems for people with accountability?
Me personally, or seeing that of others?
Let's go
Is
with
that what
both.
you mean? Yeah, okay. So absolutely, I went through certainly the beginning parts of my journey feeling, um, that imposter syndrome element. But I think, well, I know what happened for me is the more I helped more and more clients and the more results I got and the more um, kind of visibility and things that I embarked on, my confidence and self-belief grew at each stage. So again, it comes back to that baby steps. At each stage I just felt more probably comfortable in what I was saying and more I could approach things more confidently. And that just comes with time. It really does. The repeat and practice kind of process there. But imposter syndrome, fear, lack of confidence, lack of self belief, I come across it daily of not only clients, but also just business owners in general that I speak to. They may not feel as though they're charging the right prices, or they might be charging enough, or people won't want to pay that, or all the way through to that person's doing that and I should be doing exactly the same. There's so many different levels here. And the one thing that I've found, particularly with the accountability groups that I run, is that level of confidence, self-belief, and just that like easing of fear just comes after making consistent progress month on month. They really start to raise their head up a little bit more and step forward into who they believe they are and who they want to be. I
Mhm.
see it all the time. But it's a big thing, Tammy. The whole imposter syndrome, fear, it's huge.
Yeah.
And I
So
think
I
it's about starting to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? Like people actually saying, cool, do you know what? That I feel a bit fearful of that bit, or that person's doing that bit, and I should be doing that. People starting to talk about it really does help because then you can help.
yeah,
Yeah.
speaking up
Sorry.
about it, breaking down the
Yeah,
barriers. And I
for
suppose that's
sure.
where the teamship comes in then, if that's
Yeah.
a camaraderie. I
Yeah.
can't say the word.
Yeah. I'll go with either. They sound good.
Teamship. Let's go with that one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, coming in and having that like-minded community where people just understand you and are very relatable, and they give you subtle yet really helpful advice to just push through so that you can then be accountable with the fear, but you're leading with courage.
Yeah. I
Mm.
always say one of my favorite quotes is your comfort zone is a great place, but nothing ever grows there.
Mm.
And I find that if and certainly I find with all the businesses I work with, is if they've got someone who has got their back, who is holding their hand, but not literally, obviously, who's there as a sounding board to help, help them along each step of what they're looking to implement, they will feel more confident at the end of it when they've achieved what they want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just grows each time they want to put something in place, whether it be personally or in their business. Each time it will help with that fear, that imposter syndrome, that confidence, that self-belief each time.
So you're unlocking a golden nugget there. So the accountability, just taking those actions, good or bad, whatever the outcome is just the outcome. There's a lesson in that. But more important is that you're building your confidence and you're growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never considered that before.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, in my accountability groups that I run, I see it on a frequent basis. If somebody is investing in themselves to be part of that group, I see them just grow, like month in, month out, through the steps that they are taking bit by bit to improve themselves personally, improve their business, improve a team they could be working with. It's all the slight edge. That's what a guy called Jeff Olson wrote a great book called Slight Edge. And it's all about taking those baby steps on a regular basis to get to a point where you've got those consistent results coming through, but also you're growing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're stepping into that person that you need to be in order to run the business that you want to run.
Mm-hmm. So you say that with ease, baby steps, and I do the same thing. I just take those baby steps. And a lot of people are struggling with, well, what's a baby step? And they confuse that with big steps. It's like, well, if you're learning to, I don't know, public speaking, the number one fear, the baby step is not get on a stage in front of 1,000 people. That's a big step.
Yeah.
The baby step could be practice a script on your own in your room. That's a baby step. Get comfortable with talking, using your voice and your hand gestures or something like that. That's a baby step.
Yeah, but doing those baby steps consistently. So, like you just gave that example there, but doing that, maybe day in, day out for a certain length of time to build that part of the next level of confidence, for example. And then it might be, actually, I could do a Facebook Live now. Okay, I'm going to tell somebody I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the first point. I'm going to tell somebody what date it's going to be, and then I'm going to keep practicing.
There's an accountability key takeaway there.
Exactly. So, just having and just for some people, it's just about actually doing it. Not that someone might watch their live, but it's just actually doing it. And I've told somebody I'm doing it, and then the relief, they feel so much better afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But the key thing I always say is don't watch a Facebook Live back. That's always a good key tip. Just do it.
Not straight away, practice.
Yeah, exactly.
Just learn the lessons later on.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's about those practicing stages. So what can you be touching on a consistent basis every single day, no matter how small, whether it be in your career or in your business or wanting to move out of your career into a business. It's just breaking it down to, well, today I might do a social media post. Okay, I'm going to do that now on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tomorrow I might talk to somebody about what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to do that now on a consistent basis. So it's really is identifying those small steps that build up over time, because by the end of the month, and you look back and review, you would have certainly achieved quite a lot.
Oh, hell yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that one. So something that's worked very well for me. I'm very accountable
Yeah.
to myself. I've trained me to be that way. I have no idea where it stemmed from, but
Mm.
what could have contributed to it is that doing lots of different things that scare you and doing those baby steps from all different angles, whether it's presenting, whether it's learning to ski, whether it's going into the man zone in the gym. Oh my God, I hated that. It's like, no, I can't be in that section. All these different things. And so I thought, well, if I try all of them, the baby steps, I'm actually training myself to be confident in the unknown. And so
Yeah.
then I can be accountable because I trust that I will figure it out
Yeah.
and I accept the result. I take ownership and I move forward. So it's not a blame game. It's,
Mm.
well, this is what happened. Sorry that I dropped the weight on your toe.
Yeah.
Oops,
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
but moving forward.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And, like I say, what's the worst that can happen sometimes? And I think that's what we end up, don't we, getting caught up in, is what could be the possible outcome, worst outcome, when actually we're not focusing on what could be the positive outcome from just doing something. So yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thinking about teams. So yeah, this works in a business environment, but also outside of that, whether you're being accountable to your fitness goals, to your diet,
Yeah.
you cleaning your home, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Something that in terms of like a key value, accountability is part of integrity. And so if you pride yourself on being an integral person, what
Yeah.
accountability forms it. And I wonder if culture has an impact on people, culture in a workplace, something like that, or not just in work, but the people that you surround yourself with. The
Yeah.
quote is, you are the average of the 5 people you spend most time with, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I'm wondering how your environments are also impacting your accountability. Do you have a blame culture? Are you dishonest? Have you seen that in your line of work previously when you're in corporate and also now as a business host?
Oh my goodness. I'm smiling as you're saying all of this, because there were countless times I saw that in the corporate world. I couldn't even tell you. But I think what I witness in a business world, certainly the environment that I'm in, is, I've always hung out with like-minded business owners from the outset. So everyone's going to be at different levels at different stages in their business, but you do find those individuals that will absolutely lift you and support you and believe in you until you believe in yourself. And I've always experienced that in my business world. I didn't experience that in my corporate world. However, I was in a corporate world some 13, 14 years ago now. And I was in a buying role. It was very competitive, which didn't, interest me one bit. But I think I certainly feel that where I am in business and what I've experienced in business is you can actually seek out those people that inspire you or lift you or you want to hang out with or be around. In a corporate world, again, you can apply that same principle, as in, there could be people within the organization that inspire you, but you might find more people outside of a corporate world that inspires you. Whereas I find in a business world, we're surrounded by lots and lots of options.
Mm-hmm.
I've certainly experienced that.
Yeah. So the important part there is be around people that are going to inspire you, challenge you, and also understand you. So again, your point
Yeah.
earlier about having like a sounding board,
Yeah.
almost like a group of people that either validates your decisions
Yep.
because they understand, or that they've been through it. And it's almost like a scenario where, friends and family, they want to protect you
Yep.
always. And I think every business owner can say the same thing. They start a new business and everyone says, get a real job. It's almost like a rite of passage. It has to happen.
Yeah.
Parents or friends say, why didn't you just get a real job? Because they're so fearful.
Yeah.
Um, and those sort of people you're surrounding yourself with, that doubt, it gives you doubt in your actions, your accountables. But when you're with the right people that inspire you, that understand you've been on the journey,
Yeah.
or about to go on the journey, is encouraging.
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I do come across that conversation piece again quite a lot with business owners, where when they come to work with me, they may have gone through those conversations with family or friends or partners to get them to try and help them in their business. But often I do hear, well, they don't understand, or they don't want to listen to what I've got to say. They want to talk about their day or something. So I think finding inspiring individuals outside of your normal kind of family or inner circle can be really helpful to get that different business perspective. It really can.
Okay. So what changes do you often see in people that have gone, right, okay, I accept my responsibility, I'm going to take action? You've said so far confidence. Is there other things that they're demonstrating that's really helpful for their growth?
Oh gosh, they feel more motivated, they've got a better structure, um, they've got more clarity, they can just approach what they're doing on a daily basis with just more ease. Just not feeling yeah, maybe so overwhelmed really as what they previously were. And again, I think through the changes that they make, they're starting to see the results that they're wanting in their business and also in themselves. And that then leads to that confidence and self-belief. And the other thing I see in business owners is when they're in these stages, is I can actually look at somebody and they almost look lighter, because
Yeah.
things have just started to come out of their headspace is clearing, they're getting the certain parts in their business sorted, and they are then going, right, I'm ready for this bit now that's going to take me out of my comfort zone. And I've got you here helping me and keeping me accountable. So I feel more ready to do that now.
Yep, that's a yellow
Yeah.
person.
Yes. It absolutely is.
Yeah, they radiate. Yeah, things seem a lot lighter, clarity. I'd also say courage as well, because
Yeah.
they still have a level of fear there, preventing them, not always, but majority of the time. And so they're being courageous because they are trying, they're
Yeah.
giving it a go.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, they're not, hiding from those actions or tasks or priorities any longer. They're absolutely giving it a go and seeing what will work. And again, I come up across a lot of times is people just want things to be perfect. Oh,
Oh,
it just needs to be perfect, or it just needs to be just so before things are sent out or communicated or launched or whatever it may be. But again, I think having a mistake here and there or not having it just perfect, again, is just a great way to learn and change things the next time. And it shows that you're human. If there's something that doesn't quite go right, it's okay. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people go, I just want it to be just like that. And I'm going, just launch it.
yes,
We'll
yeah.
pick up the pieces. It's fine.
I'm one of them. I'm a perfectionist,
Mm.
although I am recovered because,
Yes.
just like you said, it would either be My perfectionist would keep me doing the task, and
Yeah.
there'll be no end in sight because my high standards were ridiculous and I couldn't reach them. And I
Yeah.
certainly couldn't delegate because if I can't reach them, I can't trust someone else to reach them.
Sure. Yeah.
The other end would be I'd procrastinate because it's such a mammoth task. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't start that. So let me
Yeah.
just avoid it for a
Mm.
little bit. And the way I solved it was that I made mistakes on purpose.
Yeah.
So when I first launched my magazine, on the front cover, there's a mistake.
Yeah.
And I posted it anyway. Someone said to me, oh, but someone might judge you. And I said, that's cool. They can
Yeah.
judge me, go for it. But I'm learning how to
Yeah.
not be a perfectionist and go through every single detail on the magazine.
Yeah.
I have to save myself from this burden because I will not move myself forward if I keep perfecting.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's those that judge or pick something up who are probably the ones who are thinking, oh, I wish I could launch a magazine. I
Ah,
wish I could do something like that.
mm-hmm.
And actually, we all make mistakes. We all drop a ball or forget something. But I think the key part there is being that person who can quickly resolve that and make that situation better or improved, or that's the outcome there really. But I come across it a lot, Tammy,
I
for
bet.
sure.
So, from my perspective, accountability should be the leading principle for people who seek that positive change, as well as for businesses who want to stand out in front of their competition. But before you start to assess accountability in others, it would pay to look at yourself in the mirror first. Are you accountable? Truly accountable, regardless of fear? Based on what you've shared today, what would you say is the one key advice for the listeners?
Around bringing in accountability.
Or anything that we've discussed, yeah, whatever you think is
Yeah.
the advice.
Yeah, do you know, I think out of everything we've talked about today, I think if you're in a place listening to this today where you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling, you're not feeling that passion for what you're doing, reach out and speak to somebody. Reach out and speak to, again, I know we talked about family and friends, or reach out and speak to somebody where excuse me, you would get a trusted recommendation or a trusted introduction of somebody that you could speak to. And that might be personal development, that might be business, it might be emotional well-being, it might be a whole host of different things. But I think taking that first step, and seeking and asking questions and voicing how you're feeling is absolutely where I would start.
Oh, wonderful. And do you have any services or products available to help the listeners to go to yellow?
Oh gosh, yeah. So I run a Facebook group, which is a great space for people to come and get hints and tips and accountability, there's that word, to really help them make those baby steps on a regular basis. So that's called the Business Buddies Club. And then I run accountability groups for small business owners who are looking to get put into practice. Essentially, my accountability groups are called Enact, which means to put into practice. So it helps, again, get those baby steps in place, looking at key parts of your business, sales and marketing, operations, people and finance, to really help you make consistent progress month on month. And it, again, starts off small, but then it really starts to open up all the possibilities of what you want for you and your business. So absolutely, those are the two things.
How can the listeners get in touch with you?
Do you know, I was thinking probably the easiest way is to jump onto my Instagram, which is Niki Business Buddy. I spell Niki Niki, but in my link tree are all the different accesses to my business buddies club and how to contact me. So yeah, popping on there actually, because it acts like a bit of a mini website at the moment. It's got lots of great uses, but absolutely in the link tree it's got all the accesses there as well. So yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
Brilliant. Niki is available to support you, guide you, and inspire you on a journey to yellow. Reach out to her today. Help is here, it's always here, but you must take the first step. Details can be found in the description. Niki, thank you for your words of wisdom today and in the Yellow magazine. May your life be yellow.